There is only one way to go gray. If you'd like to know what way that is, then keep watching. Hello, beautiful butterflies, and welcome back to Naturally Graceful. If this is your first time, I'm Nina, and today I want to give you a reminder that the only way to go gray is the way that works for you. And it's important to know that because I receive many comments from different ones asking me, how do you transition to go to gray? How do you go gray? And there are many different ways, and I'm going to cover a couple of them in this video. But I want you to know at the end of the day, the best way and the only way to go gray is the way that works for you. So some of the ways that if you have decided you're going to stop dyeing your hair, that you can transition into going gray. There's two camps. If there are those of you who have never colored your hair before, then the easiest way is just allowing your gray hair to come in. But for those of you who have been coloring your hair over the years and you are now deciding you're not going to cover those anymore with color, here are some of the ways that you can transition to going to gray. And remember, you pick whichever one works for you, and that's the best way. You might even try a way and then decide, you know what, that's not for me. And just because someone else said that that works for them doesn't necessarily mean that that's your way to go gray. The way that I went gray is I colored my hair one last time, a darker color, and I let it grow in. I also cut my hair. I did a big chop. So I did a big chop so that when my hair was growing out, there was less colored hair that I had to grow through. But I want you to know that when you do make that choice to decide to big chop, the thing that is going to take a while is your hair growing. So if you're not a fan of short hair, then that is going to be the hard part, growing letting your hair grow out again. But there are so many amazing women who have cut their hair into a pixie style. Some have, went all the way down with their hair down to the, being bald, cutting it all off so that they can start off fresh. For some of you, that might be like really drastic, and, that's not the way for you to go. Again, remember when I'm telling you these different options, you choose what works for you. And please let me know actually in the comments, how are you deciding to transition with your gray hair? Are you letting it grow out, or are you cutting it? I honestly think that there are 3 different ways to transition. Let it grow out. Don't do anything to it. Stop coloring your hair. Let it grow out. Cut your hair down to your roots. Or another way is to get your hair chemically change to gray hair, which is a lengthy process. I am doing my research to find someone who is more has more expertise on the coloring aspect of like coloring your hair gray. But from what I've seen so far, it is a process. Some have done it on their own. Maybe your hair is already like a blondish color, so it's already lightened, and then you just get a box color or developer. I don't know all the terms, but you basically lighten your hair so that you can deposit that gray color on top. But what's so amazing is our hair does this naturally. A lot of people, I don't know if that's happened to you, may ask you, oh, did you get your hair done that way? When you go to the salon to get your hair colored gray, they have to go through lots of stripping your hair of its natural color in order for it to be gray. So that's really something that you have to understand. It's not impossible to do. I've seen it done on Instagram and it looks gorgeous, but that is something that you have to keep in mind, that if you're going to go through that process, I would suggest to go to a professional to do that, so that you're dealing with chemicals, you're dealing with your hair porosity, so many different things, other colors that you may have had on your hair previous to that. So it would help to have a professional so that in case something happens, they can correct it, as opposed to you being home and your hair turning green or something like that. Because I'm pretty sure box dye is not made. There are some people who do it, but when it comes to things that intensive, I would leave it to a professional. But a lot of us may not have that option now because of what's going on, which is why taking advantage of this time of quarantine or being at home to allow your hair to grow out is a good option. But the two most popular ways are people cutting their hair down to their gray roots or letting their hair grow out. Now, I want to let you know that if you let your hair grow out and you see different colors, if you see some orangey colors, if you see some reddish brown, do not be alarmed. That is normal. It has happened to many of us when we were growing out our hair. It's called grombre. The many different colors that your hair goes through as it's fading from the dye that was put in it previous to that, as well as your gray hair coming in. And I think the sun has a lot to do with that as well. Even when you do get your hair colored, going out in the sun can change how the color comes out, the color that it fades to. And then if you cut your hair, there's someone on here, I forgot her username already, but she just cut her hair into a pixie and it looks so awesome. So I'm about that cut life. I will say that the gray hair journey definitely opened me up to a tapered haircut. That was my first time ever getting a styled cut. I've had my hair short before. Even when I went natural, I got a big chop, but it was kind of like a lemon shape. It didn't really have a shape to it. So when I did my big chop and I did a tapered style, I just love the way that the tapered cut shapes my face. So if you would like to get a haircut, and I've seen many of you send me pictures through email of your big chops, and it looks amazing. So you can get a big chop and then maybe get braids or something like that to hold you. I know some who have gotten a big chop and they've worn wigs until their hair grows out. There's so many different options that you have to get to your gray hair that you don't have to feel just stuck. Now, something else that's interesting, I did some videos where I told you guys about temporary hair dye that I've used from Mofajung. I get that from Amazon as well as Gemini Naturals. Someone emailed me and told me that that's something that they're using to to transition to gray hair. So that's something else that you guys might think about. Instead of using a permanent color to get all of their hair gray, they're using the temporary hair dyes. Let me see if I can. I was doing a video already, so that's why they're here. But just to show you what they look like again. So this is a darker color. This is the Gemini Naturals darker color. As you can see, it's like a gunmetal or charcoal. And this is a more of a liquidy type, which I like. It's moisturizing. And this one is more of a wax, and it's a little bit lighter. This is a bit more silver, the color. So those are some things that you could do. The only thing, of course, if you do it that way, is every time you wash your hair, the color will come out. But there are temporary options. I think the wax would probably work best. I don't know if you put a semi-permanent of gray on your dark hair and it would be the same. If you guys have experimented with color while you're transitioning to gray, please let me know about it in the comments. That could definitely be a resource for others. There's someone, like I said, I'm gonna see if I could try and reach out to so she could explain. I've heard of some people just dyeing a strip of their hair gray so that they can have like a streak. Maybe they're not ready for all of their hair to be gray. I've heard of these different techniques of coloring your hair so that it doesn't feel so drastic, but you still have your gray coming in. So that's something that I'm going to do a little bit more research on to help you guys with. But I just wanted to make sure that you know that there is no one way that's perfect, no one size fits all. And yet the right way and the only way to go gray is the way that you feel most comfortable with, because there are some women who I've seen on Instagram who have said that they're growing out their hair and people tell them, oh, you should cut it, you know, or someone who was cutting it is like, oh, you should have grown it out. So don't let other people dictate what is the most comfortable for you as to how you want to transition to gray. Okay. Hi, Diane, Arletha. Thank you. And Deborah, good to see you. You said they do ask this if you get stopped out all the time about yours. Remind me of what I was saying there, Deborah. Hi, Anne-Marie. I like that Anne-Marie said you could call it like pregnancy. She's 9 months in. So you've had the baby and you have ups and downs, but mainly ups. That's good. I really like the way that you described that. It certainly is a learning curve. You know, you have to get used to it. And another thing that I mentioned on another video that I want you to keep in mind when you're transitioning to gray, please don't let the first couple of months that you are growing out your gray be the determining factor as to if you're going to go gray, because you're still dealing with the awkward stage of your roots and your colored hair and maybe a lot of other different colors. And so if you just base it on that, yeah, nobody wants to go gray. But I think that it would be helpful to give it some time. And if there's some things that you can do in the meantime to be able to help you, when I went gray, I didn't do anything special. I just kind of like, I went through the growing pains of the transition and the different colors and the short hair. But I think there might even be some people who still, it's still a shock, you know, to kind of see your gray hair coming in. And then if your hair is really long, how long it takes before it gets to that point, you know, that you really appreciate it. So patience is, you know, definitely necessary. Okay, Deborah, you said, is your gray colored? Okay, yes. And it's amazing how that works, because all of our patterns of gray are so unique. So, you know, when people ask you like, oh, did you get your hair done? And it's like, nope, this is naturally how it came in. And even for me, guys, this is 3 years in with my gray hair journey, and my hair did not look like this when I first went gray. I was actually looking back at pictures and I was just like the back was a lot darker. And you notice too that this side looks a little bit darker, whereas this one looks like it's a lot more you know, salt and pepper. So it's one of those like when you go to the vending machines and you're looking for a prize and it's like, surprise, you don't know which one you're gonna get, but you learn, you know, you learn to love it. At least I learned to love it. So that's something that I definitely want you guys to keep in mind. It's so funny. My husband is at Costco with my little guy, and I should know. I don't know. Tell me if that happens with you guys too, with your mates. And they're always like sending you texts like, should I get this? Should I get that? No, don't get that. My husband is so similar to my mom. Like when they go into the store, it's just like they just get lost. But that's okay, because that's giving me some time with you guys. And I can't front, because if I go into a Walmart or a Dollar Tree, I feel very happy. I feel like when I first had my son, I remember like there was a Walmart that was open till like midnight, and I just went there and just had a blast just going down every aisle. So there was something that I wanted to show you guys. I am doing another video showing you some things that you can get from Amazon to help you with your gray hair journey. But since it's right here right now, I wanted to show you guys this turban that I got that I think is really cute. I wear this when I don't feel like doing my hair, and you know, just different things that you can do to like cover up while you're getting used to the idea of, you know, growing in your gray. Diane, you said that many people asked if you got your hair colored. Your response is usually that no hairdresser can get that good. Yes, that is true. Have you ever noticed too that even when you got your hair colored before at the hair salon, that someone will ask you, oh, what color is that? And it's like, I don't know. You know, you have your own natural color mixed with what the hairdresser does, and it sometimes make its own unique color. Deborah, you always loved the gray hair, just hated going to get the relaxers all the time. So then going gray was easier for you than going natural, Deborah? And it's funny because my mom went gray before she went natural. And I really give it to those of you who are doing it both at the same time, because you're going through two different changes. You know, dealing with your different texture, and then dealing with, you know, not coloring your hair anymore. But again, at the end of the day, guys, you got to do what works best for you. You know, you can find many different ways to do the same thing. What do they say? I kind of don't like the phrase, but like kill 3 birds with 1 stone. You know, like you could do it many different ways. Okay, nice. So what made you decide that you wanted, well, obviously you hated doing the relaxers. Which would you say was harder? Would you say going natural was harder than going gray? And I think my mom might agree with that. I think I asked her what she felt was harder. Maybe it was the gray for her. I'm not sure. Because she dealt with that skunk period for a while. And even my mom, she didn't really do anything different. Maybe she will wear hats sometimes, but she went through it. And I think what's nice, because there are a lot of women who are going through that right now, you don't feel as alone as maybe a couple of years ago if you were doing that. So I always like when there's a shift or a change that happens, because then it helps people after that to be more comfortable to just like throw that dye out of there. Let me know, guys, what you did use to color your hair. Did you guys use permanent color? Did you use semi-permanent? Did you use henna? What did you use? I used all of them. I used permanent color, which was really made no sense to me, because when I used permanent color, it damaged my hair a lot. I know I got a lot of color damage. And because of the way my hair grew, like I would color all of that just for a couple of inches of gray to come right after that. So permanent color was my least favorite to use to cover my gray, even though it did a good job of covering the gray than semi-permanent. When I used henna, it wasn't the red that I was looking for, you know, at all. So henna was my least favorite. But one of my favorites that I had used was Clairol Beautiful Collection, I think it was. That was a moisturizing semi-permanent. I liked using that one. And I also used something from L'Oreal called a touch-up spray. That was the easiest because you just spray it, but that faded a lot quicker, you know, especially because I'm a head sweater. Hey, Andrea, you're still a henna head. Do you use the black henna or the reddish henna, Andrea? You said going natural is easier for you because you still aren't gray yet. You aren't gray yet, or you aren't ready to go gray yet, Andrea? Andrea always has me laughing, guys, with her comments. I love it. But yeah, I also use mascara to cover my grays. That was the worst because it just got so gunky. And when you have natural hair, maybe if you have straight hair, mascara is awesome, but the mascara wand would get stuck in my roots. Deborah, you said no, not really, because you've never minded short hair. Okay, and you had a military haircut. Okay. So then you went gray first and you had a short haircut, and then you went natural. So then it probably didn't take you long to transition from the relaxers, right? And who on here has a short haircut? Diane, I know you don't. That's another thing that I think, like, there's so many advantages. When I think that also helped me in my natural hair journey, cutting my hair, because I had less time that I needed to style my hair, less time for it to dry. It dries faster. And it was a way for me to, like, get away with not so much styling, but still have a style because it's tapered, if that makes sense. And I love it. I'm just really sad that when I went to the barber the last time, I had him touch the top, because this bang situation that I have is killing me. Thank you for the thumbs up, guys. Yeah, so it's just important to, similar to relaxing, like, once you just get to a point where you're just done, you're done with dealing with the maintenance of it all. And what's funny is, in life, there's maintenance for a lot of things. So you can't get away from maintenance, but you just switch your energies from dealing with your hair to dealing with something else. My hair is, the phrase that says I got 99 problems, but my hair is not one of them, right now. Hi, Ava. How are you? Good to see you on here. How is your training going? Indria, you said not ready. You use the henna from the Bengali supermarkets. You can't find indigo anymore. That must be hard, because I think indigo, like I said, was the darker colors are the easiest to cover the gray with. The only thing is, Indria, do you find that when it fades, does it fade to red? I know, Ava is amazing. She was one of the ones that I remember seeing on YouTube that I was just like, man, if she could rock it, I could rock it too. Belinda, you have short hair. You use Cream of Nature dark brown gel to cover. Okay. Is that a permanent or a semi-permanent? Deborah, now letting it grow out to see just how long it can grow. You think this is going to be the hard part for you. So you went to hair and you always had so you've always had a short cut and now you're growing it out. Is it because you can't get to the barber, or you just want to see how long it gets? Because I have my moments too. Ava has lovely long hair as well, like lovely salt and pepper hair. Another one that I love is Mildred. You'll see her a lot around social media. I don't know if she has a YouTube or not. And she has beautiful long white hair, white natural hair. So I have my moments sometimes where I feel like, oh, maybe I want to grow it out, and then I'm like, no. Thank you, love. Training is going great. You're eating a lot. Isn't it weird? Like, even though you get to eat a lot, I'm sure it's probably hard, right? Ava is training for a competition, I believe, next year. She's like goals. I love seeing women who are older than I am killing it, keeping up with their youth. Like, there's so many things that we can do to take care of ourselves so that we don't feel like, oh, we let ourselves go because we have gray hair. Like, that's just not true. Hi, Nora. Belinda, you said neither. Oh, it's an edge control gel. That's different. So are you doing that to transition, or you're not deciding to go gray? That's another option for people if they're trying to get through the beginning transitions. I know Ava also wore this cute like turban, and she would put her hair up, and that kind of helped cover her roots in the beginning. Belinda, you said going gray now and loving it despite the various colors. Oh, let's give Belinda a clap. She's 2 months in. I'm excited for you. You're letting it grow out, and it will take a while because you're a little past armpit length. Yeah, it will, but it's going to look amazing. There's someone else on Instagram. I think her name is Hairscapades. She has beautiful long gray hair, and she transitioned as well. And I think it takes, you know, especially if you have long hair, it takes a while. But we'll be with you through the whole time. Okay, Deborah, I need you to do a video on how to cut your own hair. Because I have the clippers. We got them earlier this year, but I still haven't used it. And yeah, that would be great. That's a great skill to know how to cut your hair with clippers. Thank you, Nora. Okay, Andrea, you like the red. You get a red to white demarcation all the time. You have your black hair also. So you call it Tony the Tiger. I love it. Yes, she is. She really is. You know, she keeps that skin going, the hair looking awesome, and now she's getting her body right. And let me tell you guys, I started walking since October. I'm about, this month, you know, will be 2 months, and it makes a difference. It really does make a difference when you take care of yourself. Hey, Pamela. There are 2 Belindas here. We'll give you a clap too, Belinda. Belinda King. Yes, Pamela, we're hanging in there. How about you? Deborah said can't mess up with guards. Okay. So I need to learn the guards. What guard do you use? Because I know there's like numbers to them, and I've seen some videos. If I get good enough, I might show you guys like the process of how I do that for myself. Ava, you said the tube is everything for you, helps with transitioning. You just think gray makes us glow. It does. It does. And I feel like it starts off this just embracing, because another thing that Ava is really good at is like sci-fi or special type makeup. And I've heard from many other Silver Sisters as well that by them allowing their gray hair to grow, it helped them to come out of their shell a little bit, you know, with a lot of things that they may have hid behind. But you feel a little bit more, you know, I don't know. Confidence, when you feel comfortable with yourself, is definitely an attractive thing. Okay, Andrea, you said Hairscapades inspired you to do henna. Does she still, well, she doesn't still do henna now because her hair is gray, but yeah. Yours looks like mine, Deborah. Okay. And how long did you see? Another thing about my natural hair, guys, when it grows, and I'm noticing the same thing with my son, so I'm seeing that it might be a genetic type thing. I find that my sides don't grow too long. The back of my hair, like that thing just, like, look at it, is very full. The top of my hair is my most fine area. And so when I have it in a tapered shape, it all looks better. But when my hair was longer, it just, I don't know, it grew kind of wonky. It grew like a clown, I felt. Like my sides grew out like this, and then the back grew out a different way. The best that my natural hair looked as far as full in volume was when I was pregnant with my son. After I had him, I was like, oh my gosh. Like the hormones and then the vitamins, just, I want to be able to get my hair back to that. But after I had him, the shedding and the iron deficiency that I didn't realize I had really took a toll on the volume that I had. But yay to the 2 Belindas. You keep it tapered on the side. I'm glad you're doing good, Pamela. Thank you, Andrea. And it's so interesting you say that, Andrea. Like when I look at my hair, I told you guys that Green Beauty has a video about how, like, on the science of how some people's hair comes in white, or sometimes it just comes in streak by streak. When I look at my hair sometimes, it's interesting how it's like, look at that, the roots are dark, but the tips are not. And I don't know if it's because there's so much salt and pepper that it gives the impression that it's that way, but I also have, look, if you could kind of tell, I still have dark baby hair. So that was something interesting to me when my hair grew. But you guys see that? You see the little bang? The little bang that's going on. The nice thing about natural hair, though, is you could easily camouflage. So I found a way to camouflage. But Belinda, I think, was it Belinda or Deborah? I think like you, I'm going to grow my hair out. Not completely, but a fuller taper. She used to have her white streaks hennaed. And to be honest with you, I would have loved to have like just a white streak and the rest of my hair black. But, you know, I've definitely learned to embrace my hair. And it's funny because my hair, I think I'm going to get the white hair that I love, because my dad, when I look at his, the way he's grayed, he was just like this in the beginning in his 30s and 40s. And then now his hair is like snow white, which is so awesome to me. And I'm trying to think of my mom. My mom's hair is getting whiter also. So do you guys notice with your gray hair that the gray hair pattern changed as you went along? Let me know in the comments. I think that's very interesting. You have dark baby hairs too. Yeah. So I think that's so interesting. It's just going to grow the way it wants to grow, right? So we have to embrace it. I've definitely learned that, to just embrace what my hair is doing and let it do what it's going to do. But I love that, Andrea. So how frequently do you have to like touch up your roots? Because that's the other thing. When you're dealing with your gray hair coming in, especially if you're using permanent color, you always want to give it like a good amount of new growth so that it's not over processing. And I think similar to people who were transitioning to natural, I know people who would like try and stretch out their relaxer as long as possible as they were deciding to stop relaxing. And so maybe that's another way that you could do too, like you know, stretch how long you get your next color. And like I said, this quarantine helps because maybe you're not able to get to your hairdresser like you usually would. I've had some people tell me that unintentionally they went gray this year because they weren't able to get to their salon. And, you know, after not having to deal with that, they're like, well, I might as well. Yeah, Ava. Ava, you said you're dark in the back. Your edges are now just coming in gray. That's so interesting, because my edges were the first thing that decided not even gray. They were white. And my sister, who is 10 and a half years younger than me, she's starting to get her gray streaks come in. And they are quite wiry. Because you know how full my sister's hair is. So you just see these little like boom, boom, boom. So it's interesting, like I said, how everybody's gray hair comes in. I also know someone who is just straight white in the front and the rest of their hair is black. Deborah, you have a white streak is how you started graying in the front of your head. It was beautiful. Your baby hairs. Okay, got you. Yeah, that might be me soon too. It definitely changes. And what was interesting, when I first went gray or stopped coloring my hair, I had a white streak. And now the black streak is what's the minority, which is so interesting, because the white's like, we coming. Okay, you do it every 2 to 3 weeks. You stretch your touch-ups the longest this year. Your gray reminds you of Grady from Sanford and Son. Wait a minute. I remember Sanford and Son, but I don't remember that character. Maybe if I look at it, I'm going to go look at it again so I know what you're talking about. I love your humor, Andrea. Humor is so necessary to be able to keep our spirits light. And, you know, this gray hair journey, I did a interview on my Instagram of Marissa Curls. She had come on this live before and told me about the beer rinse. And she has a nice streak in her hair. a nice gray streak. You have some people who go gray and it doesn't even look that noticeable. Like, I see her gray streak and she has it in other areas of her hair, but you can't really tell that much. So again, similar to when you go natural, you don't know what your hair texture is like until the relaxer is all gone and you cut off all that relaxer. Similarly with your gray hair, you don't know how your pattern is going to be until you stop dyeing it, and then it continues to change. Like, if we never dyed our hair, it would be interesting to know what that would have been like. I love those who've never colored their hair at all and they're letting their gray come in naturally. The streaks are cool. They're definitely unique. And on one of my walks that I went on recently, there was this tree, and I'm going to see if I can find a picture. I'm going to take a picture of it and I'm going to put it on my community tab. It was a very, like, I'd never seen a tree like this. You know how when you look at the branches on a tree, it's round or circular. I don't even know what shape I'm trying to say, but it was definitely rounded. This one was like square and rectangle on top of the tree, and I was just like, I stopped and looked at it, so that's similar to what our gray hair is. We're kind of like that. A lot of people are coloring their hair or not letting their gray come in. So now you have all these people, and younger ones, not just those who are, older and wiser, but younger ones who are embracing their gray, and it's so different. Aunt Esther, Nora said, I remember all the characters in my mind. I just don't remember the names. So now I'm definitely going to have a Sanford and Son night. Thank you, Ava. Nora, you love your tricolor hair when you wear it in a puff. I'm sure you do, because when I see women with their grown braid buns, like it's white right here and it's just dark where the bun is, I think that that's so beautiful. It's different. And different is beautiful. Cue the music. That's right. And I'm gonna see if I got the music right. You're gonna tell me if I got it right, Andrea. Is it dun 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 it, dun 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 it, dun 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 it? I don't know if I got that correct, because on is it Peacock? One of those streaming services, they have like the old shows on now. So I don't know if it was Sanford and Son. We were watching Good Times, and there was another one, What's Happening. That's what we were watching. And so just to see those old shows is just really nice. I'm glad that they're bringing back some of those classics from back in the day. And you even think of that, Sanford had a lot of gray hair, and he had gray natural hair at his time. So it's definitely a freeing thing. That was it. Yay. I got it. I still got some good memory in there. If you guys could choose a song to be an anthem for your gray hair journey, what would you choose? I always think about India Irie's song, I Am Not My Hair. That always comes to my mind. Then I think of Mary J. Blige, Take Me As I Am. I love the words of India Irie because, our hair is a big part of us, but that's not all of us, so I really love the words of that song. Yeah, good times. And I think there's another song out there that I love, that just talks about, because at the end of the day, and that's what I wanted to tell you guys in the interview that I did on Instagram with Marissa, she told me that she couldn't get to her hairdresser, and because she couldn't get to her hairdresser, she's like, I'm already this far along with not getting my hair colored, I'm just not gonna go. But she said what surprised her is how she feels more of herself than she's ever felt before. And she's not the first person who's told me that. And if you're thinking about going gray and you're on the fence, I'm not going to say that that's like everybody's experience, but I think most of you who are on here would agree with me that you do start to feel more of yourself now that your hair is gray. And I don't think it's just because of the hair color itself. It's this acceptance that you feel like, okay, this is me. I'm not afraid of it. I'm going to wear it proudly. And that just feels really good. Andrea said Vibes and Stuff instrumental by Q-Tip. Nice. You're going to have me go check out a lot of stuff. Deborah says, yes, you do. Yeah. Like, I even look at my mom, and she even said that too. She talked about how you can't keep looking, when we did the interview with her, you can't keep looking to your past. You got to look at like where you are right now. And so, again, even though it's just not dyeing your hair anymore, you start to learn to just be at peace with where things are. Like, okay, my hair is going gray. This is what's happening. I'm going to let it be. That's okay, Andrea. It was nice to have you on here. Thank you. I loved your energy. But I'm always so happy to come on here on the live with you guys. I know a lot of you sometimes wonder like, oh, when is it going to be? I'm just taking it a week at a time. Belinda, this girl is on fire. Yes. And Fireworks by Katy Perry. I love it. We need to get like a little gray hair playlist going. I love that. And even when you think of that song from Alicia Keys, This Girl Is on Fire, just the vibes and the mood from that song is just like, very, very, very upbeat and just like, I don't know, you just feel very free. So if you're thinking about going gray, instead of thinking about, oh, I'm going to look old, try and remember that, oh, I'm going to feel free. I'm going to feel the most me I've ever felt. Try and keep those things in your mind. Put it on an index card, put it on a sticky, put it in a frame. I think having positive visuals around can be so helpful, especially when you don't have the support that you would like around you. Honestly, a lot of times what we think about things was passed down, and I think I've mentioned before that gray hair can be a great opportunity to practice gratitude for all the life that you've been able to live. And when we look at things that way and changing our perspective, it really does make a difference. I'm continuing to be shocked by the amount of how my perspective changes. Like, you don't get so rigid in thinking that, like, maybe 5 years ago, did I think the way that I do now about gray? No. But when you're open to trying different things, it definitely changes your mind. It definitely changes your mind. So I thank you guys as always. If you don't have any questions, Nora said, India, you might have some indigo. Oh, look at that. That's so nice, Nora. When I finish this live, you can put that in the comments as well, and you guys could contact each other. I think that's so nice. But as always, I enjoy being on here with you guys. Please, if you have any questions for me that you would like me to answer on another live or make a dedicated video for you, especially when it comes to the gray hair journey, please definitely let me know. Deborah, you love getting older and wiser and knowing that you're here to serve a purpose to others. That's right. That's right. I love I'm 39, so I'm about to be in my 40s, but this is an exciting time because I feel less insecure. I feel like when I was younger, I was way more like, you know, not comfortable in my skin, and now it's like, no, this is it. And also taking care of myself, as I've been exercising more, and taking care of my health. I realize like exercise feels like an act of self-love for me, you know. I'm going out there and I'm doing the things that I need to continue to be here. And listen, exercise is amazing for your appearance as well. It's great for your hair, it's great for your skin, it's great for your mental health. That was one of the biggest reasons why I started getting out to walk, just to help with anxiety. I needed a place to release all the pent up feelings that I was having. Awesome, Deborah. You were 62. I'm excited to get to that age. Maybe not everything about 62 is awesome, but I just love when you've also lived long enough and gone through a lot of different things, you also have a different mindset than when you're young, you know? Absolutely. You're most welcome, Diane. It was nice to have you guys. And I, of course, look forward to the next time we'll be together. So you guys can look forward to some Amazon videos coming up of just different Amazon finds, things that I found on there. And I also have a video coming up on a scalp scrub that I tried that I'm going to share with you guys. So keep looking out for that. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks again.